Chair now recognizes the gentlelady from New York, Ms. Malliotakis.
Thank you, Chairwoman. And the state of New York, which is where I come from, is different than the rest of the country in that all our hospitals are nonprofit due to state regulations. And specifically, in my district, we have 2 nonprofit hospitals that are also serve as teaching hospitals. These are on Staten Island, and then I have 1 freestanding emergency department in Brooklyn. And these hospitals do a great job of serving our community and training the next generation of doctors, of nurses, of healthcare workers throughout their teaching programs. And I greatly appreciate the work that they do there and also in serving our community. In the last year, they served 1.5 million patients. They've treated almost 300,000 individuals in the emergency room. They've delivered 12,000 babies. And according to the 2023 990 tax forms filed by the hospitals in my district, they contributed over $300 million in community benefits, which included charity care costs, Medicare reimbursement shortfalls, health profession education funding, and reinvestments in the community. These reinvestments included free healthcare screenings, food insecurity programs, overdose prevention programs, and many other investments. But they also are considered major facility improvements and expansions projects to further meet the needs of a growing population, particularly in Staten Island, which is the only borough in New York City that does not have a public hospital. So my hospitals are taking on a higher rate of uncompensated care, and without their tax-exempt status, these reinvestment opportunities and community benefit contributions would not be possible. And so, at first I want to ask Dr. Bai, I agree that we must ensure that our nonprofit hospitals are effectively serving and that they're reinvesting in our communities in order to receive that tax-exempt status. And obviously the communities across the country, they face different challenges. And as I outlined, because we're the only public hospital, or the only hospital, we don't have a public hospital on Staten Island, I think our issues are unique. So my question is, how can we ensure that the nonprofit hospitals that are operating in good faith and spending their money effectively in the communities are not hurt by other requirements that could potentially hurt their one-size-fit-all approach to tax-exempt status?
So let's say we have a bright line regulation saying every hospital has to provide whatever percentage of the revenue in charity care. That will hurt hospitals struggling on the line. For example, if this year, without that requirement, the hospital could stay afloat, that hospital might be closer to bankruptcy.
Yes.
And second, if we have a bright line number, the number is always gameable, right? And then the large hospitals and politically connected hospitals will be able to do 2 things. One is to hire consultants to massage the number, try to look good, window dressing. Mm-hmm. Second would be to try to work with the regulatory process to change some little things in their favor. So that will create a very unfair environment for small ones. That's why whenever we see more detailed regulations, we see fewer and fewer small players, simply because the soil is toxic, they cannot survive.
Yeah. How can we improve oversight without overburdening the hospitals?
I believe
that's for you or Mr. Whaley, Dr. Whaley, whichever.
I believe competition would help force everyone to do the right thing.
So it sounds like your hospitals in your district are doing a strong job in fulfilling their community benefit. We know nationally that is not always the case, and so I think that there can be policies that go into place nationally, whether that is standardizing community benefit reporting, following some of the suggestions from the Government Accountability Office in a hearing before this committee 2 years ago, in ways to strengthen community benefit reporting.
Mm-hmm. I just want to make sure they're not going to be overburdened and dealing with more paperwork and more bureaucracy and red tape and some other things that could be hurdles and administratively. I think that's really important for us to consider as well. And one last question. On top of the community benefits that I've outlined, my hospitals, they provide 30,000 jobs in our community. And so they are the largest employer in my district. And Dr. Horwitz, how does the tax-exempt status allow for these hospitals to continue providing not only these key healthcare services, but the jobs for individuals that I represent?
So the national healthcare expenditures for 2024 aren't fully analyzed yet, but it looks like we've spent $5.3 trillion, or about 18% of GDP, on hospital care. So, take about 70% of that, probably more for nonprofit hospitals. And you are, by simple math, looking at a lot of jobs. Right? The nonprofit hospitals are a major employer in the United States, and if you put more financial stress on them through cutting Medicaid, through lowering rates of insurance, you are going to see
Ladies'
some
time
real
has
cuts.
expired.